Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from, welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. So glad to be hosting another episode of this award-winning show here on December 11th, 2024. One day closer to Christmas, one day closer to my birthday, and one day closer to that time the sun goes supernova and all of our crypto FOMO problems go away forever. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a good show for you today. Theme for the show today: Bitcoin reserve being rejected by Microsoft. How come? Why is that? Why would they not want that on their books? It's pretty simple. They got tons of cash. It doesn't matter. Anyway, also news in the house today. Ripple gets their stablecoin. Ripple's looking for the money grab. They've already had the money grab from their tokens and the foundation and everything going along with that. And they said, we want more of your money. And so they wanted to put more dollars in their pocket so they can issue their stable coin, and they can earn 5% from the US Treasury, buying bonds on that too. So good show today, but also it's not that good unless my co-host Pedro Garcia is in the house. Pedro, what's happening? You're on mute again.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to have every one of you guys here today. Tom, how's your day, brother? Are you having a good day? How was your day yesterday too as well?
My day's a good day. Hold on, sorry, I had the crypto swamp creatures in my ear. We had a debut of the Swamp Creatures here this morning on their new episode. Not crypto related this time. Occasionally they don't talk about crypto. About polling and how the polls get misinterpreted or misrepresented, and how disinformation takes those misinterpretations and blows everything out of proportion. It's a good little 10-minute video for those of you that are interested in figuring out when you watch the news and all they talked about was one party was going to win and the other party was going to lose. And then it switched around. Boop! And one side was wrong and the other side was right. And is that because everyone at the last minute switched their votes? Whoop! We're going to the other side? No, it's not. It's just a statistical anomaly and people reported about it. Anyway, go watch the Swamp Creatures over here on our channel, everywhere where we are broadcast. And thanks to all the new viewers today. Hopefully, Miss Lioness Nina Fox is watching us today. Hopefully, we will be talking more about helping contribute to our show. And she has a DYOR meme token. That's right, a meme token on Ripple, right, or on the XRP blockchain right now. So hopefully, she'll come on the show and talk about that. But that's enough about me. Other than that, Pedro, I had a good night. I was working all night editing Swamp Creature stuff and all that. But how about you, my friend?
Dude, it is going good, man. I've been in a couple plays here, and it's been, I sat there yesterday, and so I actually went on Shogun Show last night, and one of the guys, I was kind of just like being like, well, it kind of happened, right? And then he's like, yeah, man, actually, you were right. You were right. And I said that, I was like, dang, that's what's up. Shogun, shout out, man. Thank you for being up in front and being real on that. Thank you so much. And I went on a few other stuff, but I got in on a trade as this market started coming in. I sat there and I was like, is this going to rally tonight? Right? And so I was like, well, dude, it literally went down and then up. So I was like, I was so hoping that we were going to see a real sell-off. It was like, I was like, all right, guys, if this happens, what we're going to do, and guys, if this happens, what we're going to do. And this thing was just like, so obviously there is some news about it and we'll go over that stuff today, but it definitely, so I caught a little bit of BTC on the CME, which was pretty awesome, but ultimately, it's going. I just want to see more volume though. That's the biggest key. Is maybe, I don't know if we're going to stay in this range here. We are in two type of ranges here. We're in the long-term range here, right between that. And I've talked about this yesterday on that 73. Oh, sorry, Squirrel. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. I apologize. I normally go over that right off the top, but I went right into Bitcoin. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button.
Ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't mess around.
Yeah, yeah. And additionally to that, if you guys could do us a huge favor, and when you make a subscribe and share button, put it onto your preferred social media as well as your unpreferred social media, and tell us where you're coming from, where you would like to be, because ultimately we would all like to be on a beach or in the woods with a beautiful landscape, chilling, drinking a Mai Tai. or whatever preferred drink you like. So please hit that like,
And with a
subscribe,
beautiful
share,
woman. Or with a beautiful whatever you're interested in.
Yeah. Or maybe you just like a dog and you want to chill with your dog and a beer and have a good time. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, a dog is always
anything
good.
wrong with any of that.
Yeah. Shoot. Maybe one day I might be chilling with my my lion or something like that. I'm like, yo, this is my lion, dude. What's up? He's like, I'm like, oh, this is my leg.
No.
Alrighty.
No.
So thank you so much for that, guys. But so right now we're watching BTC starting to come in, and showing some strength here. So I expect if today we're starting to see, and this is going to be really important, we want to see real volume kind of coming in. The thing I don't like about it is that, and I always talk about this, right? Is that we're not putting any demand wicks as we're moving up. And so we're putting actually more supply wicks, which are the seller wicks versus the buyer wicks. And so this is not necessarily a good sign saying that Bitcoin is going to continue up, right? You can see here right off the top that it's already putting in some pretty strong seller wicks as we're coming in. Now, as we're moving up, we saw a decent amount in volume coming in, but in comparative to, let's say, this day right here, where we saw the market shoot up, you can see that this spike in volume right here, as we see pop, move this guy. See this spike in volume versus this spike in volume as we're moving is not a good sign that this rally is going to continue. So we need to kind of hold off and wait and see. So ultimately, this is going to pull back down to that 99,322 area, and then we'll see what happens here. Are we going to consolidate here? I'm switching to the 4 hour. If why? Oh. Okay, let's go to the
Pedro, is your computer running okay, or are you having any trouble?
I'm having a little issues. Yeah, it's not necessarily being cool with me.
We're getting a little stutter from it on this end here. I think you're at max CPU. I
am. I'm going to have to close off some of this stuff here real quick. All right, let's see if that will help. Is that better? Let me see if I can take that away. Did that help or no?
So far.
Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right. So I know. So like fingers crossed. I just dropped a bunch of stuff off. So so you can see here as we're seeing profit starting to get taken here at key levels here. That there's supply wicks here. So it's just going to depend. Are we going to continue here, or is this the lower high? Right, that we're now going to put in a lower low, which should be around this range here, right, or over here, pardon me. So here we go here.
Looks like a dumping is in our future, huh?
I wouldn't say dumping, but I would say maybe a potential. What is going on with you, dude? Okay. I would say maybe typically come back down to here. You all know I like.
Good morning, Carmen Crypto. Good morning, Chumbalongs. Thanks for joining us on the show today, Carmen Crypto. Really appreciate it. Chuck Jansen, we'd play your sound effects, but the great sound effect machine is not working this morning.
So I would expect to see something like that potentially come down, but we'll see what happens when it comes to this. But right now, we're not showing a lot of promise that this rally is going to continue today, simply because there's not a lot of demand wicks. A good sign is if we hold right here on this 4-hour intraday time frame here, this is going to be a good sign saying, okay, we've got real buyers stepping in at this level, which is going to be that 95.77 area. If that holds strong here on this 4-hour chart, then I would expect.
Yeah, that's what I was just asking you, Pedro. What pricing level is this right where you're drawing your lines?
Yeah, so this is going to be 96.66. Always a creepy number, right? The 666 number. And then and honestly, in the markets, it's actually a number that the market will either stop at or bounce off, which is really interesting. So you can see here, it's a strong number, that 666, that 9666 area. So potentially we could see this come back down, find support, and then push back up. So it's something that I'm definitely looking at to see if I'm monitoring this area here. So as we come down into that level, I want to see us really kind of find some support there with some good volume. So we'll talk about that again tomorrow while we come down, or at least come back down, I think, to this area remotely. So we'll find out from there. So ultimately, that's it. that's about it as we monitor Bitcoin, and hopefully this rally continues, right?
Can you give us a little update on XRP?
Absolutely.
Simply because later we're going to talk about their stablecoin. Might as well talk about their pricing right now and feed that algorithm.
Absolutely. So XRP was one of those ones that I think was really, I was expecting it to continue down because we definitely saw a lower amount of volume step in it, and it still is. So, but it did bounce off our area right here as we came down into this level, and now we're coming in, now we're retesting that 8. We really want to see that 8 kind of show weakness here on that daily. All right, we're kind of seeing it, but when you look at the intro time frames, right, you can see that there, again, not a lot of demand wicks as we're moving up. So I am more hesitant. In additionally to that, as we're pushing up, you can see that there wasn't a ton of volume as we were moving in comparative to, let's say, the dump of a couple days ago on Monday. So this
What
is
time frame is this chart you got up here?
This is a 4-hour chart, but this is a daily zone right here. So we came back down into this zone. We found buyers, but it doesn't look like there was enough buyers to really continue this push up. So
which one of these zones is your 143 to 128 zone you were hoping it would retrace to?
Oh, that's this one right here.
This one right here. Okay, so we got a long way to go before we get to that one.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we're gonna get down there because I want to pick some up there. I talked about yesterday buying some here, right? And then, but if we could see this thing pull back to that 143 to the 128, it's a good buy area. And like fingers crossed, if I could pick it up at even cheaper, would be that $6, right? That $6. I think anybody and their mom is going to want to jump in and go, it's cheap.
Everyone
it's like,
and their mom. That's the sell signal, Pedro. I remember a mom asked me about Bitcoin. Actually, they asked me about SafeMoon. And as soon as a mom at a school function said, hey, you know about crypto, what is this SafeMoon thing? That was the sell signal. That was the top. And it went nothing but down after that.
Well, I mean,
for various reasons, including soccer moms inquiring.
I more or less meant that everybody who is somebody, and I think moms are somebody, is going to want to get in at those lower levels if it does come down. And that's that area that potentially, and I know people are like, dude, that would literally cut off at the current value, like easily half, right? Probably like 60%. But remember, right before the market really excels and we see a Bitcoin and market pump all around, it typically has a major sell-off, and typically about 50% of a pullback is what we see. And so did we see that earlier on when we saw it go from 40 or 70 down to 40, right? It could have been that. I don't think so, because typically that happens. This type of sell-off typically happens after the elections when you look at Bitcoin history, right? And so I think we're getting ready to do the pullback so that we can get the springboard. It's almost like a trampoline, right? It comes down and then somebody pushes it down more, and then you have that, the really push up. And so I'm hoping that's this. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the market continues up and keeps going, right? Because institutions are coming in and buying, and Michael Saylor is saying, hey, please buy or I'm going to fall apart. But I don't know. We'll see what's up. But that's where I'm at. So XRP is definitely one of those ones that I was not looking up at. I didn't, because I don't really believe in it and what they're trying to do fully. And I know it needs to kind of happen, but I think there's a better system. And it was actually Chris Alexander that talked about literally like, well, what system would you want? And I go, well, and so I bring this up because I think the system that I would actually really want to see is an ICP system. How they're actually building their blockchain and what they're actually trying to do. And some of the stuff that they're actually doing. So I'm kind of putting together or formulating an idea of how if I was to sit there and say, okay, this needs to happen, but we need a decentralized way of doing it versus a centralized way. How do you do it, right? And it was actually Anton Golub, your friend, over at why am I forgetting that?
Shout out to Anton. Come back on the show.
Yeah, bro, come on. What is, you don't like Americans?
Because he lives in Dubai now, and he's like, well, your show's on at 9:30 night. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm like, dude, it's Dubai, man. People go to bed till 2 a.m.
Nobody
Come on, man.
sleeps, bro. come on, man. Come on, man. So, but he talked about some stuff there on his stuff that he posted on LinkedIn, and I thought was really interesting. So it really started kind of get my mind percolating on if I was to set up a type of system that needs to happen, right? And I don't disagree, but something that would almost be counter to XRP, it would be something that where you could put a ICP system or Internet of Computer, a ICP. What's the P stand for? Shoot, I forget what it is. Internet Computer Protocol. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks, Tom. But it's that system that they're actually trying to set up. That we need something similar, but allowing it to be able to set up a form of stable coins, but it's more on the person building it versus the actual the user that can be monitored. Anyways, I still haven't fully formulated this, but let's jump back to XRP. I'm still gonna want my bags to run, so I'm looking to be buying it at these low levels here, and then capture potentially a 3x, 4x, where I can kind of see if I can get part of that stable coin itch stuff and see if I can make some money on it. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. They already have their own token, obviously, XRP. Yeah. Now they have to play the stablecoin game, and if they want to play it properly, they have to have one-to-one backing with it, which means people are just going to give them dollars, and they're just going to hold on to them and start from zero, or they're going to fund it,
or if they have
with their own money. Now that they have the infinite money machine turn on and they 5x their holdings, so they could easily do that. They could throw $100 million to seed it, and then people will give them money. But the question is, Pedro, what is the Ripple XRP token, stablecoin, whatever you want to call it, RLUSD or whatever? You should just call it RIP. And what's it going to be used for?
You just said RIP. Sorry. My brain just went just as a junior hire. Here's the thing. I think they're trying to really set up a way, and this is actually how I would actually be cool with it. If XRP had a stable coin, that I can opt out of a system that allows them to be in DeFi. But the problem is because it's their stable coin, or stay in DeFi versus their stabilized system. I guess that would be kind of cool. So maybe they're trying to pacify guys like me who will most likely not hold on to them and cheat them, right? Like potentially.
Well, that's a good point, right?
Like you could keep, like, if I'm going to earn yield on my coin, of my stable coin at, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, you got your money in the bank, and that's cool and all, but at least have some of the money in crypto, because you can get returns of 10 to 15% APY, off of your dollars sitting versus 1 or 2% in the bank on central exchanges. And I go, and that's if you want to get really, sophisticated, you could take part in kind of liquidity pools that you have with them if you have enough money. And then eventually I was like, wait, you said 10, 15% APY? I go, yeah, just for money sitting. I'm not talking about growth. I'm just talking because the person was stratified, I said, it's kind of like CDs, okay? But your money's doing stuff versus just sitting that they can send out as loans. And they were sitting there like, wow. And so potentially if XRP is going to be willing to give me a really good APY on my dollar sitting, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to put some money there.
Anyway, here in the article I have up here, Pedro talks about let's back up a little. As we've seen with exchanges and even tokens, things that existed prior to regulators having their way with everyone's buttholes in this, the old things kind of went away. They're like, oh, well, we may have not been complying correctly after all these years. So we're going to rebrand. We're going to have something new. Even Tether's talking about not trying to make Tether legal in Europe. They're trying to have a special Euro Tether that's separate. And starts from scratch as legal. So no, there's no blackmail or anything that they can hold over them and say, oh, we'll prosecute you unless you do this. I have a feeling that Ripple is starting something new because they want it to be absolutely bulletproof legal. And they started in New York. And New York hates crypto. The New York Financial Services Agency, or whatever it is, New York Department of Financial Services, approved it. They started with the hardest place to get approval for anything crypto or anything like that. And so from here on out, it's going through the motions. If everyone's like, oh, you passed those numbnuts approvals, then you can get approval pretty much anywhere. So they're starting out completely legal. But this is I don't know if you can, this is highlighting on the screen. Ripple executives speculate that the stablecoin could reach a market capitalization of $2 trillion by 2028. Now, let me be clear about that. They didn't say the entire stablecoin market. They said Ripple's stablecoin, $2 trillion. Let's all recall that Tether's at 160 billion right now. It has a long way to go. And that means that Ripple is planning on essentially taking the entire market with their RIPs. I'm just going to call them RIPs instead of RLUSD. So this is quite... Pedro, how many times have you seen grand, especially in crypto, grand visions come to fruition?
Yeah.
How many times? Never. They never come to fruition. The things that get grand do there over hard work.
I saw one, and it was called Merge for ETH when they actually dropped their energy usage, right? But it took them almost 4 years to complete all that, right? So that was a huge monumental change in crypto, but that's the second largest coin in the market. So I mean, they had infinite money to kind of do it right at the time. So I mean, that's it. You have an N of 1 right now. They might, but I mean, here's the thing: how are you going to get adopters like me to be part of that? Then, like all of a sudden, you're going to encapsulate all the coins. I'm still going to keep majority of my money sitting in cash if when the market's going down, and I'm definitely not going to XRP system unless it's mandated by the government. And if that happens, then we already know Trump ain't about it, bro. Like Trump is like, nah, bro, I will never CBDC your guys' money. I mean, I'm being facetious.
Unless he sets it up so that his kids run it and own it and stuff like that. Anyway, with X here, it even goes on to talk about XRP in RL RIPS. Like all stable coins, RIPS will be pegged to $1 US dollar. It planned to back the token with USD deposits, short-term US Treasury bonds, and other cash equivalents. Essentially, the Tether model. Monica Long, the president of Ripple, said it would be complementary and additive to XRP.
But you can't call it RIPS. That's definitely nuts. It'd be rules. RLU. There's a U, right, in it?
Well, USD.
Right. So you would call it rule. Just call it
RIPS is just short for Ripple. It's not the acronym.
But
RIPS.
I mean, why not just say? Because it's really, anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm just sitting there now. I'm being nitpicky.
I'm just thinking something simple. Give me 20 RIPS. Give me 20. I'll take 20. Selling 20. Selling 30.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right, keep going.
Anyway, did you happen to see the 60 Minutes segment on with Brad Garlinghouse was on?
No,
they did a big thing. All of a sudden, a crypto company is on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And they made him look like it was just a scam industry. It was a hit piece. It was not. It was like, who is the editor? The editor must have been 70 years old and been like, wow, my war bonds are not like that at all. It was just one of those things when you watched it, you're like, that could have been a very well written, well edited episode or segment of 60 Minutes. And it turned out to be quite lousy. And what I thought about it, Pedro, was a lot of the segments on 60 Minutes and other news shows like 60 Minutes. Some of the topics I know something about, and a lot of the topics I know really nothing about except what you read in the news. But the one topic I do know a lot about is crypto. And if 60 Minutes goofed that up and made it look so miserable, just in the things that I know about, Am I watching their garbage and they're screwing up other things, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's right. You got it there, Andy. Yeah, right. But it's wrong, or it was made to look in a bad light. So what am I getting gaslighted on that just because I don't know the background to it? Anyways, I hate that when I learn something like that. And I've used, on this show, I've used that example before when we were talking about our legislators and representatives. And when you see them speak wrongly or incorrectly about a topic you know a lot about. Two subjects I follow in Congress a lot is crypto and firearms. And I know a lot about both those subjects. And so when I hear legislators speak incorrectly or just say dumb things, so yeah, that's a triple barrel automatic machine tank, and you're like, what the hell was that? And you think, if they screw that up,
what else are they screwing up?
Are other topics that are way more complicated, like healthcare, taxes? If they can't get this right, can they get something else right? So that's my take on this, the 60-minute stablecoin or Ripple interview. We'll call it a hit piece. But good luck to XRP. I'm going to try and get Brad to come on our show next. Hello. Right. Trying to get him to come on our show and talk about it, or maybe get this Monica Long, the president of Ripple, to come on and talk about what they see as the use for it and how they came up with a $2 trillion market cap for their rules.
We'll just call it rules. Are you
ruse? It's a ruse. I told you all along, it's a scam.
Call it ruse.
Pedro, let's take a minute here to talk to our crew out here. DYOR Baby in the house with D-Gens Unite. I wish I had the sound machine going. I do. As always, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, share, follow, post, tweet, whatever. Just do it. Do it. You need to do it. You need to share this to get this show around.
Do it.
Carmen Crypto, 10 watching, but only 3 likes. Come on, let's get those likes up, baby.
Let's get it.
Chuck says, Daddy Sailor speaks and we listen. We do. Interestingly, Cointelegraph has an article saying kind of what Pedro has been talking about the MicroStrategy strategy, like how it could unfold, and that it's time maybe already running its course. So maybe I'll mark that down to talk about that tomorrow or later in the show. Chuck said, yeah, he's the one guy sleeping in Dubai. Right.
Right.
Ka-ching in the house. Thanks for joining us, Ka-ching. He joined us earlier, but I missed talking about you. 60 minutes has taken a lot of beep for that segment. For those of you that watched the Swamp Creatures, you'll notice I employed the beep because Justin let out a good old-fashioned bullshit on it. So I beeped it out in the intro just to give it suspense and drama. Well, I'm having a fun day. I've had a lot of caffeine today, Pedro.
I can see it. I like it, man. Listen, you're as hyped as I am. So it's all gravy. Let's do it, baby. Let's get it. Let's get in that car and hit the...
I've been quiet the past couple of shows because there's been a lot to talk about on your end of the things. The market's been moving, lots of stuff going on. And there hasn't been a lot of big news stories. It's just market movement, that type of stuff. Yep. And so I as they say, I've come out of my doldrums. Welcome to everybody on Rumble. Wednesday, whatever. Yeah. Welcome to everyone on Rumble. Thanks for joining us over there. We always seem to be having a good crowd on it. Yesterday, we ultimately had 35, I think it was, Pedro, live viewers over there.
Awesome.
Good. Hit that like button over there. For those of you watching on Rumble that don't have an account, you don't have to pay premium to do it. All you have to do is sign in. You can use your Google, Facebook. There's a couple of ways you can log in without having an account and certainly not paying. And please hit that like button. Do that right now. I'll wait. Okay, do that. Hit the like button and comment. We have a good discussion going. Poor Fire Chicken's hanging out there and Rumble all by himself over there.
I know, right?
Pedro's going to chat him up right now, too.
Don't have to. Oh, bye. Anyways, okay. So here's the thing that I think was so interesting right now, and I think it's really super important to be paying attention to as well, is the narrative that crypto is coming about. Like and I have to say, but I mean, I really don't watch 60 Minutes. It's not something that I'll sit there and go, oh, this new 60-minute episode just came out. Let me go check it out. I mean, it's not, you know what I'm saying?
I used to back in the day, not anymore though.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. You're about 12 years older than me, 10 years older than me, right? And so when I say your generation, you're not X, right? Or are you X?
I don't know what the fuck I am. All I know is I'm a child of the 60s and I grew up in the 70s.
Okay, so I'll put it like this. The only people who are really watching that are boomers, like boomers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see some 20-year-old looking at it. And so where's the money really being held right now? Is it in, 20, 30, 40-year-olds? No,
Pedro, you're doing that leaning close to the camera.
Oh, shoot. Again. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I'm like, the reason why I bring this up is the money's not held in our generation. I mean, it's accruing. I'm not saying it's not. It's definitely accruing. But, still the vast majority of it is in the boomers. And so who watches 60 Minutes? Boomers. And so they sit there and they see this, and so it could be almost a play that TradFi is trying to do to keep them in it. Because here's the thing, out of the maybe 25 people who's reached out to me over the last couple of weeks wanting to know about crypto, I would say vast majority of them are 60 and above. The majority of them, they hit me up on my Facebook or hit me in the DMs on my Facebook, or they reach out to me. And a lot of them are actually people kind of either from churches in the past that I've experienced, that I've connected, or people that I've connected with in the past who started following me and became friends on Facebook that I used to work with. And many more from insurance, right? That many people know that I used to do final expense. So a lot of my people are from there. And so they said, I need to know what's going on with this crypto stuff. And here's the part. I wonder how many of those people are pulling money out of their TD bank and trying to move it over to crypto. How many are trying to just put into an essential exchange, learning how to do it? And then all of a sudden 60 Minute pops up and it's like, boom, wait, this is kind of a scam. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just like I always say, Miss Kamala, Vice President Kamala, her ability to close the former Vice President Kamala. Remember how?
No, I mean, I don't even the name doesn't even ring a bell. Vice President something rings a bell, but the other name, I don't know what the hell.
Oh, sorry, she is still Vice President. Forgive me.
No, I'm just saying that the name didn't exist for 4 years. Or for 3.5 years, like you were like, who? And all of a sudden, she went from nobody to somebody, we are the champions.
Yeah,
this person has been knighted to do this.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, she's nobody again.
Yeah, pretty much. It was almost her fault. She was the fall girl or fall person, and I think what's interesting.
That was a great show, The Fall Guy.
That was a good one, actually. It was actually
not the movie, the show with Lee Majors.
But I think what's interesting is that just like this situation of being able to play that avenue, right? Even though she was trying to close the border and helping out with it, right? She did exactly what she was supposed to do, right? Keeping the border open and hopes to actually win an election. On the back end, I think what 60 Minutes is trying to do is the same type of thing, right? Is they're spotlighting in a way that is very gaslighted. That makes sense. Sorry.
Well, unfortunately, their style of liberal journalism is coming to a close here. Another announcement from MSNBC that they're having staff layoffs because they're trying to sell it and they can't sell it if it's losing money. There's so many people making videos of the anchors melting down on election day. Those channels, it's so funny. And then I started watching Steve Crowder again on Rumble, and there's just unfortunately he's on at 10 a.m. in the morning, and I like watching him live. But I also like to watch Crypto Lifer at 10 a.m. and a number of other crypto shows. Hello, hold on.
While he does that, So one of the things I think is so interesting is, and I think you bring up a good point here. The idea that we are seeing a switch in the media outlets, right? Like, I don't get my news off of TV except for Bloomberg, right? That's the only one. And I don't even really get, because I understand how it works, right? So it's a sales program. I think what's interesting is, as I'm looking at what's actually happening in crypto, imagine if Elon Musk, which has been whispered that he might buy it, right? ABC, the whole entire system, if he was to buy that and then actually incorporate, someone was saying he could fire Rachel and add what's the guy's name? And I thought it was crazy. I was like, what? This is crazy. He would be actually on national TV. Alex Jones, hire him on. And I was sitting there going like, that, you talk about just a switch in things with that would be nuts. I don't think that would ever happen. But if Elon Musk was to actually buy the network, dude, it would rock. It would scare everybody.
In one day, everyone would be like, "Oh, we watch MSNBC," and it would soon turn to MSX, and then it would just go to X. I don't know if you know this, but X has its own television channel now. On your smart TVs, you can call up X and watch all sorts of videos and stuff like that. It's not real easy to use yet, and because I wanted to see how quickly you could get to our videos. Still a little clunky. It's not just like, oh, let's see what's on X tonight. It's obviously there's a vast amount of information on Twitter/X. But if Elon were to buy, it's a bunch of, there's a whole group of channels, MSNBC, a couple other things that including I don't know if CNBC's lumped in it or not, but whatever. It would be epic. He'd just walk into the place with his sink.
Bro, they're already firing people. How many people are they gonna fire next, right? Like, he's like, you're fired.
Yeah, that's he'll
exactly.
Be like, wait a minute, how many people we got running this place here? Wait, we just need one. All of a sudden my phone rings. Hey, Tom, you available? Yep.
Got you, brother.
Yeah, we got you. I can run that shit by myself.
Dude, he'd put on Joe Rogan. Here's the thing, because Joe Rogan is one of the most watched people on the face of the earth. The guy has
almost so amazing how many views they get.
Dude, it's stupid. Him, I was looking over at what's his name? Alex Jones the other day. That dude, I saw his thing ticker up to like 2.3 million people live watching. Like, dude, it's crazy. I was sitting there and I just was almost I was checking out his old shows to see how many people actually watch him. I didn't think he had that big of a group. Dude, he has a massive amount of group, dude. And they're all, dude, you look at the comment section, bro, it's it's so crazy. I didn't realize.
I can't figure out, because I've listened to a lot of, because we're on Rumble a lot, and there's a lot of the people that got kicked off other channels, ended up on platforms, ended up on Rumble, ended up listening to some of these things. And there is, a monumental amount of crap. Maybe people over there are watching our show going, geez, what a monumental amount of crap those guys are. But I look at their, like Alex Jones and stuff, it's like, the problem is a bunch of the things that everyone labeled as conspiracy theories
became true.
And yeah, we're true. And you're like, oh, damn it. But then he goes off on these things where he was like, that whole thing about, I'm not going to use the words because YouTube will get all over it. But when he was denying something happened in Connecticut.
Yeah, we'll just say like that. That was not true at all.
And he was doing that.
Yeah.
Just like the people that put the flat Earth videos on YouTube. They're like,
yeah.
I remember an interview with one of them that said, oh, I don't believe the Earth is flat. Obviously, it's not flat. But these things get a lot of views, and I make ad money from them. So they know putting out that crap. And that's why the Fox News people got in trouble with the last election. All the internal memos said, they're all saying, yeah, we know the election wasn't stolen. There's no evidence of it all. But if we don't keep saying that, all the viewers are going to leave and go to those crazy super right channels. And that cost them $1 billion. Lucifer in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Lucifer, when my dog started barking, I thought that was you appearing in the room. Just like you said a few comments ago, you're going to appear. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Jesus, all the way from San Francisco, really appreciated his comment. Can Elon just buy the United States and get it over with? I know. Just,
no.
Come on. Just walk in with the sink. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're off with your head. Off with your head. You're fired.
No, man. Oh my goodness.
This is striking. Is saying actually situation. It would be easier just to buy Canada and make it the 51st state. We'd have a nice governor.
It really would.
Governor Trudeau.
Dude, that was the.
Mrs. Striking saw Governor Trudeau in person yesterday.
Did she?
At an event. Yeah, she was at an event and with the muckety mucks. I didn't get to go because I'm not a muckety muck. But she saw the governor. I mean Prime Minister. Of the great state of Canada. I love that. I love how Trump just trolled the entire country.
Gov Minister.
Where's Crypto Mike when we need him? And Steve Rodriguez. Yeah, oh, you know what? Because I didn't post anything over there.
Steve, dude. By the way,
I'm in Steve. I know. I'm in Steve's DMs talking to him about the live streams and stuff.
Good. That's going to be good. That's going to be a lot of fun, and especially I can go in and
was he crying?
Have a good time.
Was it? Derek from Minnesota says Mrs. Striking was the governor crying when she saw him. No, but he was giving a pansy-ass speech from my point of view. It's because everything. I didn't even hear it.
So guess what? Side note, I was literally called a Canadian because I say A. Because you say A a lot. Like, you know, A? You don't, and so I'm with you 2 hours a day. And so I went on a space yesterday, and somebody's like, Are you Canadian? And I go, oh no, I'm American. They're like, are you sure? And then I realized I said A, and I was like, oh, because I said A. And I go, no, I'm with a guy who's not Canadian, but his other half is Canadian, and she probably uses A, and he uses A, so it just kind of bled over to me, because I'm around him a lot, or I talk with you a lot, and it was just kind of funny how that worked, and I just thought that was really kind of, A, but I'm more of a Jersey. Hey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk more on the charts and things that you want to hear about, and also on why Microsoft said no to a Bitcoin reserve. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for putting up with that commercial break. We gotta help get the cash money in the wallets there, so we gotta do that every now and then. Trying to do it on manual schedule, so just commercials just don't pop up in front of you, and then you miss the key thing. Pedro says, then the chart is gonna move right, and now some erectile dysfunction commercials. Yeah, I hope not.
Hopefully y'all aren't dealing with that, but if so, hey, beet juice, baby, beet juice. Anyways, someone say ED. Charles, Dr. J is in the house. He's been here for a while, but the prime rib roast. That's funny. The Canadian Pedro is coming for you all. Oh, he was there. Dr. J was there actually at the yeah. I think it was a little too. They thought I joke around and say I'm autistic because I act like many times where I just don't care what people say or think. I just don't care. You've seen this. Now I care about the person immensely, but I don't care about what you think about me, what you say about me, like whatever. I don't care. Like, because I see it like a fart, right? It majority of the time stinks, and in about 10 minutes it'll go away, right? So unless you have a linger, and so I don't care, right? And so I always say I'm kind of partial. I'm autistic, joking around. Dude, one of the guys on this space where Dr. Chuck was there was literally just he legitimately thought I was like autistic, and I said, no, I act like I'm autistic at times, bro, because I just don't care, like from a social standing point, because ultimately I look at it like I used to play the short game. Somebody said you're great at the short game and you suck at the long game, because when somebody gets to know you, right, if you come off as this smooth, like suave guy, and then all of a sudden you start to become more raw, and you're like, dude, just I don't care. It's disconjuncting to the personality. So I just said, you know what, forget the smooth guy. I'm just gonna be me, and if you like me, great. If you don't like me, great. I don't care either way. But you know, and so, anyways, I said that because Dr. Chuck was in the space yesterday. So shout out to my boy, Dr. J. Pedro was too real for most people. I think so. Sometimes I think I'm a little too real, because when I was a kid, I used to lie.
There are certainly times of that.
Yeah, I used to lie a lot as a kid because of foster care and the trauma. And now I'm really honest to the best of my ability with everything that I do, because if I just lean a little to the left of being, you know, I'm just going to say fibs, then it messes everything. So I got to be real. I got to be real, because it's a slip and slide for me. Anyhow, let's jump back into the news here. When real goes wrong. Yeah. Well, I've learned to be like, all right, I'm going to pull back here, which is an epic segment from Dave Chappelle's show. I missed that too, man. Great show. But I mean, I don't go like gangster. I just basically like, hey, this is just who I am. And hopefully people embrace it. And if not, then I can't do nothing about it.
Where are you going with this one, Pedro?
Nothing. Let's go to XR. Let's go to XLM. Okay, we're gonna go check out XLM here, and check out what it is actually doing. So we saw it hit our area here, or almost hit it, and then we saw it sell off again. Try to catch back up, but it just fell through. So I am looking for this baby to find some support at our 30 cent to 26 cent, 27 cent area. It's my first target. Okay, so. We potentially could come back up and tap that 8-period moving average, which is the purple line here. Okay, we can come up and tap that. We might put in a big old wick, seller wick, and then see it continue down. So it's one of those things that I think we'll most likely see with XLM in this. And so when it comes down to these lower levels, be looking to buy up, right? Like again, if they really start to mimic what's happening with XRP, you could potentially have a good buyer where you could actually transfer if they decide to do some type of, you know, stable coin that you can be a part of and make some extra cash off of your money there. So that's it in a nutshell for that. So we were going to actually transfer to the next thing that you were saying. What was it? That it was like another news source you were going to talk about? Oh,
yeah. Hold Hold on, I didn't have it queued up and ready to go.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. I'm going to the next one. Then you can pull it up when you're ready. Let me know. So one of the things I wanted to bring up as well was HBAR. HBAR has been showing some pretty good strength in this past movement up. They actually went from 40 cents. Excuse me, not 40 cents. They went to our lower areas here. And remember, I actually had to go to CoinMarketCap to get these zones here, right, that we talked about, which wasn't on the chart here. And we sat there and we said, all right, when it comes back down to this 48 cent potentially, and I thought this one was going to come down to the lower area here, right? But it never did. And this sell-off here, I was like, ooh, we're gonna go down. Sure enough, we didn't, which broke my heart. Dashed me to the ground and stepped on me and said, who's your daddy? But it didn't. And so, but it went from 40 cents, right, that we see here, or excuse me, not 40 cents, 4 cents, to literally 40 cents, which was a 10x HBAR, and pull back. So this is one of the ones I wish I would have gotten a lot more of when it was down in these lower levels. Like, and I knew
I don't understand Hedera. I don't understand what's going on with it, but everyone in Europe loves it. It's all they talk about is, why aren't you on Hedera? Why aren't you on Hedera? And they're like, it's cheap, it's fast and all that. It's like, well, first of all, I'm not on Hedera because we're a YouTube show. But second of all, it just doesn't get a lot of press for what it does. But as you can see, the great Google machine over here, graphics machine over here, it's $11 billion token here, or coin. $11 billion, and 1.5 billion is traded in the past 24 hours of it. And it's up 13% just in the past day, which is, it's up, I don't know, 200%, 300% in the past week. What is that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been pumping. And the thing is I think we could see a potential pullback area here, simply because it's literally done a 10x over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? So it's kind of cooling down for a second. You can see how the volume is starting to pull back here now. So if we see a pullback even further, there's a couple of areas that I'm really looking to pick up some of the Hedera here, HBAR. There we go. And I'm going to move this here. So we're going to change these into flip zones. And come on. Boom. We'll make this into a green.
One of the comments I forgot to mention was when you're showing the Stellar chart a while ago. I used to starting like 4 years ago, when I used to have money going in their great Robinhood machine type stuff. I moved it. XLM was easy to move stuff around. All the exchanges and Robin, all these places that didn't interoperate that well. XLM was almost ubiquitous in being accepted. Yeah. And so I had a lot of it. I had a lot of it at one point because I was paying the rent, I was doing this, doing that, and moving stuff. And then I unwisely spent all that money on rent and food and stuff like that. And it would probably be worth, many years' salary right now, unfortunately.
That sucks, man. I
had to needlessly pay rent expenses.
Well, and what's interesting is that I have a friend of mine right now who literally has BNB stacked up because he was paid in beans, right, when he had his thing. So he has thousands and thousands of dollars in in BNB. And I said, are you doing anything with it? He goes, nah, man, I'm not. I'm just letting it sit. Every time I go to want to put it into a liquidity pool like that, he goes, because there's so much money, and he looks at it and he's just like, this is crazy, right? And he sits there and he's just like, and he had this show back in, or his TG back in 2021. So you're talking, it was still at, $30, $40, $100, $200, right? So he was getting paid in beans when it was that low. And then, obviously now it's at all-time high, and he's got literally, I don't know how much he got, but if you're getting, a lot of those things, you were getting paid, $3,000-$4,000 for a small little AMA, right?
Those AMA prices were just crazy. I never thought anyone would pay those. And then I find everyone's paying those because they're just taking the money out of their liquidity pool. And paying them. So it's essentially a non-cash expense to the developers. They just dump on their own chart. Or back in the day when taxes were big, they took the taxes and paid for it, which is fine.
Yep.
But now they just dump the chart and pay outrageous prices. But I would have to say the pressure to not dump your own chart, I bet, has constricted the AMA costs a lot. The DeFi Dojo guys, they don't charge huge amounts of money. You know, they have good crowds. They have,
they do.
You know, they have 100 people on a Spaces all the time. In their TG, they have 100 people listening, and they're all good quality people. They're not degens over there.
They're real people.
And it's a good value. It's not like, oh, well, you get 10 grand here, then you get 5 minutes.
No.
It's a good thorough AMA. So there's my commercial pitch. Oh, it's at the space. There we go. DeFi Dojo Lounge logo just came up. If you're looking for an AMA package, need discounted KYC, go in the comments here. Look up the Telegram for DeFi Dojo. The link to JBee, who runs that group over there with, to say his name correctly, Pedro, I can't do it.
Arion. Yeah, not Arion. Arion. Yeah.
Arion. They run a good ship over there, the good TG room, and get good viewership on their spaces for AMAs. Yeah. And they might just actually also include you on an AMA here in the DeFi Dojo segment from time to time.
They'll take care of you guys. They've got a group of people that are solid, that are real, and they'll take care of you. That's just one thing. JBee and Arion are really phenomenal when it comes to just customer service, how to find out what you're looking for, your niche, not clientele, but audience that you're looking for. And so they'll put you in a place where you'll get the best bang for your buck. So, which I absolutely think is amazing what they do over there. And plus, I mean, I'm partial. I'm an OG there. I remember when it was other things, and then it was transformed into the DeFi Dojo, and man, it's a cool thing. So jumping back here real quick to HBAR. HBAR is definitely hitting that daily 8, right? And it's kind of fluctuating here for a second. I want to see more volume here though on the hour chart coming up. That's the problem, right? Is we're coming up here, but it's not really showing a lot of strength. So to me, looking at HBAR, I would think that it's going to come down here, right? To this lower level here as we're now pumping. And let's go ahead and look at that here real quick, right? So we have the high, lower high, low, lower low. And so I'm expecting this thing to come back down to here, hopefully, so I can pick up some at a cheaper price, down to that 18 cent. And then from there, really kind of see it kind of pick up. I think this is a good area to be not gunning for it, but to potentially be coming down to as we sit there. Now we actually have higher time frame SMAs that could act as support here. One being the 100-day period moving average on that 4, which is basically the 8 and the 20 sitting, or the 20 sitting here on the daily. So we already saw a good bounce off of this. So if this is going to continue, we need to see more volume step in on your hour and 2-hour charts as we're moving up. So, and if we don't see that, we're most likely going to push through this area and then come back down to these lower levels on HBAR. Now, go ahead real quick. I know you wanted to talk about that news source here real quick.
Yeah, I'm just slow on it because
oh, it's okay. It's alrighty.
My machine here, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of the show today. It's not the topic of the show. The topic of the show is just Pedro and I rambling on and on and on.
And BS and have a good time making you laugh. Sorry. Sorry.
A bunch of companies are talking about, hey, should we keep Bitcoin on our books? Should we accept Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as exchange for payment exchange for our products? And B, should we hold Bitcoin? Now, you might think that's a little bit of a crazy question. Why does it matter for companies? Well, companies' balance sheets are filled with all sorts of things, not even related to their primary course of business, but hold value, and they acquired them for some reason or another. They acquired them in a buy merger. They acquired them some other ways, and they keep them there because it's an asset that's paid for and has value and is probably appreciating. So it's essentially a free way to keep your balance sheet strong. And Microsoft said, we're not interested in it. But the company's one of the larger shareholders for Microsoft submitted a shareholder proposal. And so they took it to the shareholder meeting, and the shareholders voted it down. They said, nope, we don't need to hold Bitcoin on our balance sheet. And the reason that they put it out there was it's a distraction. It's a distraction in the media. It's a distraction amongst our employees. It's not related to what the purpose of the company is. However, they did say they would likely start taking crypto as payment for things like that. But the group that put it together recommended using 1 to 5% of the firm's profits to purchase Bitcoin. Now, Microsoft is a money-making machine. They print money because all of us here give them $100 a year for Office 365 or storage or something like that. We all somehow figure out a way to pay Microsoft, even though paying Microsoft is one of the things I hate most in life. If you ever had to deal with Microsoft server licenses, terminal services license, or whatever the hell it was called, seat licenses, server licenses, site licenses, it was just a game to steal all of your money, and it worked. So I hate them for that. But anyway, Microsoft said the proposal itself notes volatility is a factor to consider for value in cryptocurrency investments, and we're just too much of a stable company to worry about that. It's not such a big deal that Microsoft voted up or down. That wouldn't be the topic of the show today. But the topic, and the reason why I brought it on really was because of we've gone on and on about acceptance of Bitcoin and the value of it, to the point yesterday where we talked about Michael Saylor, now he's a little biased, saying, forget gold. You got to dig that shit up out of the earth. Forget it. Buy Bitcoin instead. Obviously, he's biased, and I gave him grief because he's telling people not to be well diversified in your market. And amongst reserve type things, you need to be diversified in case one of them blows up. Welcome, Clobe, to the show. Cleobe, whatever.
Cleobe. Let us know if we're saying that correctly as well.
Yeah. Give us a phonetic pronunciation of that. But anyway, the acceptance level to the point now where boards of directors are taking votes. Shareholders are bringing up proposals for votes, and companies all over, governments all over. There's another related article here. The state of Alabama says they're going to do a Bitcoin reserve for the state of Alabama because essentially people are betting that it's free money. They're going to say, oh, we're going to buy it at 100,000 and it's going to go to $1 million. So we're going to put it on the books that we're going to value it at $1 million and it'll clear up our pension debt. Then it's not going to go up to $1 million, and then the pension will be more in the hole. But the acceptance level for Bitcoin and digital assets and investing in something that's not, a physical thing like gold is becoming more and more accepted. Even the discussions about it in the various different places, from El Salvador to the United States Treasury, to all the BRICS nations and all that type of stuff. This thing is really going well. It's going better than planned for the Bitcoin people, I would say. Nobody from those early Satoshi and Hal Finney days probably expected it to happen so soon, ever, or so soon, that it would be a campaign thing and that type of stuff. And certainly the next group of shareholders that challenge the bosses at Microsoft will be pro or against holding Bitcoin on the company balance sheets, and it'll separate into a campaign or political thing within the company, just as it did outside the company. So the acceptance is growing every day, and Pedro and I don't need to stand up here and talk to you about that. But there are still people close to you, even in my own family. People are, for years, they've been, I don't get this crypto thing. It doesn't make sense. It's not something physical. And I'm like, is money physical? Is US dollar physical?
I was gonna.
Well, yeah,
say.
Is that physical? So, well, it's backed by this. I'm like, well, Bitcoin's backed by the whole world and all the people that are involved in it, not just a country. And they've been saying, I just don't get it. And I'm like, you need to buy it. You have plenty of money. You need to buy it. And I've been telling them that since $18,000. And even still recently, I just don't get it. You got to explain this to me. And I'm like, I don't need to explain it any more than I did. I've explained it 59 times over the past 5 years. And it's gone from 18,000. They said, whoa, it went from 67 to 18,000. Yeah, now it's at 100,000. And it'll come back. And then it'll go back up. And then it'll come back and go back up. But you're missing out on that. And it all while your US dollars have devalued.
Yeah.
And
by
over those 5 years, the devaluation, what's that number? I'm sorry, say it again.
It's like 50-60%. It's been devalued. Like I have a friend of mine who literally became a 100 millionaire before COVID, right? Sold his business, was a boss. Actually, during COVID, not before COVID, during COVID. And he sold out. And literally that year is when the government decided to go through and turn on the money printer. And as he was selling it, I was like, you probably should put your money in Bitcoin, bro. Like, or at least put some of it in cryptocurrency, right? And he goes, it's a Ponzi scheme. And I go, it probably is. But the fact is that the government just printed so much money, it devalued you by 30-40%. And now because of what's happening and everything that's happening, you keep devaluing it. They keep devaluing it. And it's not going to ever stop. Whereas at least with cryptocurrency, if you put 10 million in it. If that thing 10x's, bro, over the next 20 years, and you see Bitcoin get to X amount, you would still be safe, and you're diversifying your portfolio. He didn't listen. Now he's finally getting into it. He's actually a big deal. He's a rising star, and he's really good with people. Really good with people. So he's probably going to become a really big guy. But it's just one of those things that it's a lot of money that the government, it's the unhidden tax that the government uses to take your money away. And people don't realize that through inflation.
And one of the reasons they don't realize why the government doesn't mind doing it, because it also devalues their debt. If they have if you have $100 in debt and you devalue it by 50%, that it's still $100 in debt, but now, now it's only worth the equivalent of $50 in yesterday's terms. So it sucks. Cleo says it's Cleo B.
Oh, Cleob. Cleo B. Oh, Cleo B.
Cleo
Is
B
that B
or Cleob? See, you didn't get it right yet. Is it B or Cleo B? Cleo.
Pedro, I am great turning. Gotcha. Yeah, it's probably
tuning in on the job. That's good. We love on the job listeners. Like that. Space Cat tunes us in from the job in the gym. AI Wolf tunes in. I forgot to tag AI Wolf in the
oh yeah, man, I was wondering where you was
stuff today.
In addition to that, I also love the fact that you have these movements of people who, instead of, let's say, trying to catch CNN or whatever, it's news sources or networks like us that they're actually picking it up and actually hearing this. I mean, I guess you could, because there's times where we do it, but we talk about news sources from different views, and we argue with each other, and I think that's so important to sit there and see. And so when a person goes into work and they go, "Oh yeah, I was listening to these two guys, and they're yelling at each other, but they brought up some really good points on both ends." I think to myself, I love to hear that, because that means our listeners are more well informed, and also have a broader sense of a topic, right? One being, like, I know that we were talking about, which is starting to gain a lot more traction too as well, the guy who shot the CEO, right? And the whole entire situation that happened.
That's just nutsola.
Yeah, I am realizing there's a lot more to it than just what they're saying.
Did you see the anger in that guy's face?
Bro.
That guy. Yeah. He's a valedictorian. He was the smartest dude ever. Everyone, his classmates said, that guy never studied. He just knows everything.
Yeah.
Those guys are frightening. It's like the Unabomber.
Yeah. Yeah. And
a manifesto.
Bro, it's there has to be some type of interview with him. There's got to, bro, because I want to hear this guy talk. I want to hear what's actually happening and what led him to that point, and then more importantly, like I want to ask him if he could go back and handle it in a different way. What are some of the things that you would have done? Because obviously something in you snapped and you kind of just said, and I'm not talking about what he said, I'm talking about like the internal dialogue that got him to that point. You know, like that. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, this guy could have been he is, I won't say a genius, but I mean, yeah. I mean, he was just on point. So
look at that face right there. That's the face. That's the face. The face. That's not a face of just, oh, you got me. That's a face of hatred and anger. And there's no evidence yet to this point that like his sister or somebody got denied.
Yeah.
To him specifically. He's like they said, the bullet casings and things like that had things written on them that the insurance company mantra, deny, or whatever it is. Of which in healthcare is usually not true. I mean, there's most of the healthcare claims are written into law. Like states have to cover that. You know, insurance companies that operate in this state have to cover all these things. And if the doctor says you got that, they have to cover it. They can't even do that. For strange, arcane things that are new, that it has to wind their way into the system. I get that. Insurance companies are slow on it. But the day-to-day stuff. And so unless you're got some weird shit going on with you or someone close by. I mean, I've never had any healthcare thing denied. I mean, and I know people that have been really sick. I mean, both my parents go to the Mayo Clinic and they have nothing ever denied. And but when I saw that face, I was like, ooh, this is going to be an interesting story here. Interesting story.
What got
let's see. Fire Chicken says they try to deny more than you would imagine. Takes hours of fighting to get a lot of things done that are mandated.
Coming from Dr.
Really,
Chicken,
even
bro.
Even stuff that's mandated.
Yeah, this is. So I was about to bring that up. There's a lot of stuff that is literally. There are there's legitimately algorithms that they set to block things and to make it difficult for you. And this is where I think in the American system, by the way, which I think is one of the best systems in the world for Medicare, not Medicare, for healthcare, but more importantly, like the stuff that we are advancing, right? When it comes to RNA, when it comes to a lot of these mechanisms that we're actually going deep. The money that is used is literally doing some dope stuff. So I do not want to poo-poo on it fully, right? But there are a lot of things that, you know, they could do better at. And it's like, instead of trying to handle and put money into the coding system and actually make things easier for the individual, they go through and they make it difficult. Pew. What's going on?
Sorry, go ahead. You don't need to stop at my ramblings.
Oh, it's okay. Pew pew. Oh, pew worthy. That's funny. That's awesome. But there is some crap they try to pull. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the part. And so if you got a doctor who cares and really cares about it, their billing people will help you out. But if they know they're not really gonna, if there's gonna be no benefit for them to help you out, but yet you need this. You know, what do you sit there? Dude, you know, you can have your worker over here help this person out and fill out these paperwork and then allow them to sit there and say the correct things that they should be saying, but they don't even know how to say when they're filling out the request and all this other stuff. So this is the issue that we're seeing in the health system.
I guess we don't see it in Illinois so much because in Illinois they and I gotta say, and this is typical of a blue state, red state thing. In Oklahoma, my cousin lives in Oklahoma, and he's a lobbyist out there. And the businesses just run roughshod over the government there. They just, do whatever they want. In Illinois, that doesn't work out so well. And they have algorithms that work the other way. The state monitors insurance companies and say your denial rate crept up above 0.005%. Why? And then the insurance company has to tell them why, and then the state adjusts to state law saying you have to cover those things. And obviously it does make things more expensive because it raises the price because they cover more stuff. But it reduces the back end waste and the wasting Chuck's time going back and forth arguing with stuff.
This is huge.
And so it's kind of the state needs to monitor the insurance companies with algorithms, just like the insurance companies monitor other things. And that seems to go well in Illinois. Because they come in and they're like, we're going to do this, we want this money. Fortunately, I hate to say it, but the progressives of Chicago kind of go, hold it, you got to cover that shit, man. You just got to cover it. And so they changed the state law to do it. And I guess that's probably the same in New York and in California, and probably not the same in Texas and Arkansas and all these other places. In fact, I just got into it with a lady on another social media platform who was just saying how great Canada's healthcare system is. And I was like, look, I do both. And you don't want Canada's healthcare system. I mean, if you're broke, you want Canada's healthcare system because you got free healthcare. But if you got cancer, you want to be in the U.S. you 100% want to be in the U.S. Let's see. Troublesome. Thanks for joining us, Troublesome. As Rick asked Rick Scott, he knows how it goes. Ka-ching in the house. How much is a CEO of a health insurance company worth annual salary wise, realistically? I think he was in the typical Fortune 500 club, making a few $1 million in salary and lots of money in stock options. There's rumors that he's a billionaire and stuff like that. He's not a billionaire. Crypto Mike in the house. I've been waiting for the Canuckastanis to show up here today. Thank you for joining us, Crypto Mike. Really appreciate it. Fire Chicken says, you're correct, Tom. You are so correct, Tom. I know we see a higher percentage of denials here versus some states. Look, just go to call up your state, your representative for your state. I don't know I can't remember if Oklahoma is bicameral or unicameral. And do you have a rep and a senate? And say, who's your policy advisor for the insurance group? And say, how do you guys monitor insurance denials? In Illinois, if you get denied, they have to file with the state, so the state knows that a claim got denied. And do they have to do that? And then you can get that data and say, why do you deny black people? Or why do you deny people in this county? Or why is Chuck's clinic getting denied all the time, but not someone else's? And it turns out the reason is Chuck didn't give enough money to the insurance lobby.
Pretty much.
That's how you can be active. Do little things like that. And when people start asking questions, even if you don't get anything done, even asking the right questions puts people on notice. There are some things in the works in Oklahoma. They keep getting shot down in the state house, where they add a lot of stuff to it to turn opinion. You need those commercials running with the poor baby crying, the sick baby in the cancer ward, and then the evil insurance company exec looking like the Grim Reaper. That's what you need. Those work all the time.
That's interesting.
Oh, anyway, that was a wandering Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was getting Wandering Wednesday. Dude, I was talking, we got to do something like Web3 Wandering AI Wednesday. Talking about a mouthful. Anyhow, yeah, dude.
Hold on one second, I got to answer my answer striking it in the question here.
I think that's what's interesting. I was actually looking at, we talked about Leo a while back ago here.
Hold on, I still got my browser up here. I gotta turn off my magic button and make it happen auto-magically. Does not work anymore. There we go. Your screen is back, Pedro.
Yeah, so Leo here has found, blew through this resistance area here. We saw it consolidate, and I expected it to kind of go down to this level here, down to that 3 or 4.
Leo, what is Leo?
Leo is a coin. It's sitting about $6 billion.
Six
our $8
billion, and I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this now a couple times.
We've talked about Leo. Where the hell have I been?
I do not know. But it was sitting around 3 billion and 2 billion when we were kind of looking at it and seeing what it was doing. It consolidated and then went up, and it went up in a pretty dramatic, I mean, by 30% from its from $6 to $9, and or excuse me, 50% of its growth here. And so I think we're going to see maybe a bit of a sell-off here when it comes to it, potentially down to the 50 period moving average here. So it's one of those things I was looking at. And there's a lot to Leo. If you want to go check him out, you can. But from an
$8.7 billion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. Monstrous.
Monstrous. So potentially, I think we could come back down to that 7-9 area, 7-7 areas. If you're looking to kind of take part in this as another major coin for you to be looking at, it's one of those things to look at.
I can't wait to meet this Jesus character.
For real, dude. He's awesome, dude.
The Grim Reaper, he's sitting next to me watching.
The Great Reaper. No, Great Reaper is sitting next to you. He's the Great Reaper.
Grim Reaper. Grim. Grim.
Yes. Hey, I've got to pull back for just a second. I'll let you take over. I have a bio break here, so I will come back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was giving the old Swamp Creatures a little watch. I suggest all of you go watch the Swamp Creatures. Their numbers are killing it. They are absolutely killing it lately. Let me bring up their views. I mean, I think Pedro and I do pretty well with views on our show. We even got 1,000 people to watch our show the other day, even though we're already back down under that. The Swamp Creatures. Their show about the Trump-Harris election teardown part 2. 745 people watched it. Trump and the Bitcoin strategic reserves, will it work? 861 people watched it. Unbelievable. And the one that launched this morning, already 24 people have watched it, including 10 people who tuned into the live premiere this morning. Thank you guys very much for joining us for that. Really appreciate it. Crypto Mike. Give the only good Justin a view. You've used that joke before, Mike. They've got haters. That means they're doing something good. Yep, they got their first lousy comment criticizing Justin for smiling and laughing too much. But that's the good parts. He has all sorts of different emotion, and when he gets into it, he gets this deep, raspy voice. He's like, "Ha, you losers!" And Lucifer, I thought you didn't mean commercial break. You meant recess. Recess. No, but their stuff's been doing well, and I'm very proud to have the swamp creatures on our show and in the distribution system, as they say. Let's see, what did we get to today? We got to the Bitcoin. Let's see where Bitcoin is now. It's still up over 104,000. Oh, I guess it's above my head here. I have to look it up. Pedro back in the house, ladies and gentlemen. $64. Chuck Jensen, thanks for joining us. He's off back to fiat exploration, mining that fiat system. Crypto Mike says recess is supposed to be 15 minutes. If you guys want a 15-minute commercial break, I'll be glad to go take a nap back here. And Pedro and I can do an 8-hour show instead of a 2-hour show. Crypto Mike's calling dibs on the tether ball. That's excellent. Excellent. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at, after this, we need to look at Fire Chicken too. Apparently their chart went a little crazy. Hey, Monkey Pleb. We got a new viewer on Twitch. Thank you for watching us, Monkey Pleb. If you got any questions, just let us know.
Also,
sorry, you were muted there, Pedro.
Oh, you got me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I had muted you when you took a break, and when you forgot to take a break, I forgot to unmute you.
Gotcha. Alrighty then. Yeah. So down from like Bitcoin sitting at like this area here. It's just, I just want to see a little bit. I want to see a real pop in the green area here. It's pushing up to, it looks like it's pushing up to come down again, you know, like lower high, lower low on the smaller time.
Yeah, I've seen this pattern a lot here, and I'm not a pattern trader guy because I'm barely a trader at all. But when it does this up and down and then sinks and then goes back up, you always get like, yay, it's going back up, but it's always like we're just screwing with you, and then it dumps after it. Like some people will call it like a head and shoulders type pattern or something like that. Yeah. Or triple top or whatever you want to call it. Just never seems to be anything good. But I want it to keep going up not because I'm long on Bitcoin. I'm long on Mana right now, and I'm right about at the break even. And Mana's been, past couple days, has been trading with Bitcoin. Like their moving averages are almost exactly the same. And so this morning I was like, ooh, I see a little trade going on. And so I put it on, and then divergence happened. Like as soon as I put the trade on, Bitcoin and Mana started trading differently, and I'm like, oh. So I was down for a little bit. It's getting close to my stop, but it came back up. So I'm still down $20 or something like that. I'd rather not be down $20.
Where did you get in?
What's that?
Where did you get in at it?
Oh,
East Coast time.
I got in at
$20. Probably
63, I think, 63 cents.
But what time? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know.
2 o'clock.
Morning.
12 o'clock. You said, I mean, this morning.
It was right around 1 o'clock.
About 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock? 12 o'clock. Was it before the show or after?
You know what? I said long. I meant short.
Oh, short. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're in the money then. If you no.
No,
If you got
I bought it at 63 cents. We're at 64 cents.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah. So you said 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So that means, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Just to pull it up. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Not a bad trade. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. You were trying to capture it down to that 8. Oh, yeah. Look at that. The 1 hour chart here is what it bounced off of. You can see here that it was finding support here. Came in and now it's starting to continue it. But we're at the top of the hour. It's going up first. So potentially we're going up to get supply here. Man, this storm is crazy right now.
Rain or snow?
It's just rain. I remember now. But still kind of like one of those things that you're just like, ooh. So potentially, it's probably going to, it might push through it. This area here that you kind of went short. This is where you kind of got in at. Right here at the top of the hour, that 63 is where it bounced. So boom, went down to go up. If you went in at the top of the hour, it must have come down first, then went up. So you can see it closed here. So the fact that we're going up first at the top of the hour is a good indication that we could go down. But I really haven't seen much weakness kind of stepping in yet. But I mean, we're not having a ton of volume step in. You can see here. So potentially we're going up to go down. I would put my stop at that 64.79 area on the hour. And if it's above here, then potentially it's going to just stop you out. So I go up and hit these higher level SMAs and then go down. So I would say right here is really where you need to be.
It's on the 1 minute chart. It's getting ready to break the 200
above you.
Yeah, which if it does, it usually pushes you up into your stop area.
Oh, I see that right there.
It's good.
Yeah. Higher highs, higher lows. This hour. Yeah,
Decentraland's volume. Not only is their price up, but their volume's been up like crazy. And I don't know if there's anything actually new in Decentraland. Did there some magic?
It's just cycling money. No, it's cycling money. It's the cycling of the money. So the next narrative is going to be literally Decentralands or central, not metaverses, right? They move the money first quietly. And then what they do then, so this is something that you guys need to pay attention. Fall again. Feels like Gale again. Feels like fall again. Yeah. Oh, okay, got you. Yeah. It does feel like that.
Monkey Pleb says, what do you mean with the headline on Twitch? The headline was BTC, Microsoft rejects Bitcoin reserve. That was one of the big news stories of the day, end of the day yesterday. The Microsoft shareholders rejected keeping Bitcoin on the balance sheet. There was a proposal to use 1 to 5% of their profits to buy Bitcoin and keep it on their balance sheet to strengthen it. And the people came back and said, it's too volatile. Maybe over the long term it'll be good, but we know in the short term there's a good chance Bitcoin could have a 50% pullback. And we've got billions of dollars in cash. We don't need to worry about that shit. Literally, Microsoft could take their cash and buy half of the outstanding Bitcoin, just like BlackRock and all those companies could do.
Nice.
So they don't really care about that. Thanks for joining us, Monkey Pleb, on Twitch. The main conversation happens either on YouTube or on Rumble. So if you want to join the other viewers for an interesting conversation for our daily talk show, come on over to YouTube. Come on over to Rumble. Join us.
That will be fun times had by everybody too. Love to have you. Also, we do charting, so if you want a chart to be looked at or something like that, let us know. But jumping to Fire Chicken, which is slowly becoming the channel's almost like, I don't know, like meme coin project, right? Was established by one of our longtime viewers, Dr. Chuck Jansen, or Dr. Fire Chicken here. So
Dr. Fire Chicken.
And are we holding this or no? I don't know. So
I think we do. I think we do hold like 20, 30 bucks of it, or we may, okay. I'm not sure. I'll have to go poking around in the.
Make sure, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows. You know, we just gotta make sure we show it. But the reason why I'm saying this is it is showing some strength, dude. Like it's legit. Like it's real impressive. They came back, sold off almost half of the position here, or actually a little bit more than half. But man, look at it come back. Nice, man. And it's following that 8-period consolidated. What moving average are they following? Let's pull up that 4.
Crypto Mike says, woo! Fire Chicken!
You know what I'm saying, dude? All right. So it looks like they're following.
You guys have been waiting all day for this.
I know, right? Dude, look at the Fire Chicken, dude. It's freaking... There we are, dude. All right, cool. You can see it's starting to fight against this area here we talked about as resistance, right? But I mean, you know, like Fire Chicken over here,
Gotta do the chicken dance.
Dude, doing it. Your hair's kind of sticking up in the bag, so kind of.
I know. Chuck gives us enough
perfect
money, so I can.
Yeah. Chicken head, Tom. Listen, this man he does, dude. How much? He probably gives us $20, $30 a week.
It's split up between his 9,000 accounts. Eventually, Mrs. Fire Chicken will be like, "What
She's
the
gonna
hell?"
be like, dude, that's exactly what's gonna happen. No, it's
two guys. Oh, it's gay OnlyFans. Oh, great. It's always what a spouse wants to hear.
What does this mean? No. It's not two guys. It's two like funny, stupid guys who think they know what they're talking about. Wait, so you like watching that type of stuff on OnlyFans? What? Like, no. I'm done. I don't even talk no more. But
Unfortunately, Chuck's back to mining, so he
didn't catch this. It's awesome.
Missing out on this great discussion.
So look, you guys check this out, which has actually been, you can see we've been following that 12-hour chart here. When it came above it, now it's starting to find it, man. Look, this right here, nice. That's a good little.
What do we got? Right behind me here is the market cap and liquidity.
Yeah. It's sitting at
Cleo, whatever your name is. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Glad you took some time out of your workday to listen to us. See you again on another day. We'll be on the air tomorrow at lunch and tomorrow evening with a space lounge, I think, if Pedro up for it.
I'm always down, man. You know. Anytime we can go live and have a good time, I'm always there.
Yeah, Mrs. Striking has another event that I'm not welcome at.
Aww.
She's a busy woman, though, but it gives me time to do a little evening space lounge.
Oh, yeah. Weather permitting. Rug pulls.
Cleo, I said it two ways. Is it Cleo B or Cleobe? Which one? One or two? Cleo B is one. Cleobe is
like
two.
Cleo B-E-E or Cleobe. And the obe is a Cleo B. Like the first one, Cleo B.
It's Cleo B. All right, Cleo B. Thank you for clarifying that up.
Cleo B.
Crypto Mike says, yeah, we're going to do a space lounge tomorrow night. Might get Carmen Crypto on too if she is available. Let's see if she's available. She has not read my message yet.
Cleo B. All right, so here's the thing I think what's so interesting with Fire Chicken, dude, is, okay, and this is a 2D gym play. It's just pure meme. But it's becoming these shows, like, shall we call it the show, like, coin or
mascot?
No? Maybe I like that mascot. I like that mascot. Fire chicken. Har! I think I actually do in my trading group. I post the fire chicken a lot. So I actually love the fact that like he picked the fire chicken.
And now it's mooning. So they're like, how did Pedro know?
I don't know that one. But it'd be awesome if this thing became like $1 billion like meme coin, and we're just like, dude, what are the odds, bro? Like,
and today, Fire Chicken overtook Shiba on the CoinMarketCap list of top memes.
Dude, that would be so nuts, bro. I just be like, that $40 turns into like 400,000, bro.
400,000, that'd be 400 million.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Me and Tom are like sitting on doing the show over in. That'd be awesome, dude. It would be funny if one of y'all came dressed as one. I don't know. I mean, I'll see what I can do. All right, so yeah, Dr. Fire Chicken here is popping like it's hot. Nice little pump. Do we know who pumped that? I mean, was that inside the group here? Was that our crew that pumped it, or was it just a randomo? You know, it's
Pedro,
cool.
we do have, just for transparency's sake, we do own in our show wallet about 1 million Fire Chickens.
Okay. So what is that? Like from
I don't know. I can't tell what the price is.
All right. Well, the price is, we're at 35,000. Yeah, it's 35,000 for market cap. We have 1 million. I'm trying to think, how much money is that going to be?
Just what's the price? It's easy. What's the price of the coin?
It's 403 right now.
Times 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. We have 30 whole dollars.
$30. $30. There you go.
Apparently, I bought $10 worth and 3x'd it, 2x'd it, 3x'd it, 2x'd it.
There we go, baby. Nice. Nice. The thing is flying.
That's it, Pedro. We are market makers here.
Market makers. $30 and making
Crypto
it.
Mike said, if Fire Chicken goes to super status, we all have to dress in chicken suits.
I would.
I would be more than happy to do this entire show in a chicken suit if that thing goes to $1 billion or $1 billion market cap.
I couldn't even. That would just be
and then I would drop the mic and walk off, and you'd never see me again.
Better not. I'd be like, where you
that would be a great internet story. They worked for years. And on his last show, he drops the mic and walks off in a chicken suit.
I'll be going live still saying.
And then Lucifer, then he's just gonna go and we'll have fried chicken, and then we'll have a big party. Ka-ching's in on it too. Chicken suit it is.
So did you see the last one that just dropped? This woman, she's the OnlyFans. Are they porn stars when they're on OnlyFans? I don't know what they're called.
No, I mean they can be, but they don't have to be.
Okay, so she just got done doing recent, because I just saw the documentary last night. I thought it was so interesting because there's this guy that I follow. He went from just being a YouTuber to doing documentary, and he got a little edgy of late. And so this last one that he did was actually about this girl, this Lily girl, who basically did with she had sex with 100 of her followers who watch her on OnlyFans.
It was 1,000.
No, 100. Wait. She hasn't done the 1,000 yet. It's only 100. She's only done 100. I'm telling. Go look it up.
Was it trying to set a world record?
Yes,
trying to set a world record?
No, not her. She was just doing it with all of her fans. Like all of the people who follow her, 100 of them were going to get their time with her, and in the thing, she starts crying like saying, because it was such an emotional experience with these guys, and these guys flew. This is the listen. I'm not gonna say there's 3 things that are older than all of us. One is taxes, the other one is alcohol, and the other one is prostitution. Okay, and the truth is I'm not against, if you're a consenting adult and you had a good family upbringing or whatever it is, but you decided to go this route, that's on you, right? Like, I'm like, I don't think this, because most people don't realize that the majority of the prostitutes out there were foster kids. And so like, it's a big deal. Like, so, but if you're a consenting adult and you want to sit there and like be a part of this, and you know, and you're older and you haven't been through a lot of trauma, I think, okay, boom, this is the right route you want to go. It's cool.
Yeah, Kaching says he saw the video and it was not an enjoyable experience, apparently.
No.
Chuck Jansen says, what did I walk back into? You missed the whole fire chicken. We're talking chickens. We're dressed in chicken suits. I'm out here doing the chicken dance.
My bad.
You missed the whole thing.
Tom, I know I see
Rumble viewership hits 1 billion.
Oh, that'd be awesome. But here's the thing, and I bring this up with this woman though. So she's trying for, I think she's trying for 1,000. I think she's in January. She's doing it. There is the other side behind it, where I think what's so interesting is that the OF community of girls, you know, like very rare. It's like meme coins, right? Like it's out there. There's so many OnlyFans girls that are making money, but they're not making a ton of money. And I think you said the average is like $2,000 a month or something like that, right?
No, I think that's a year, the average. It's really low. It's really low because most people aren't serious about it.
Yeah. So like the average is super low, and what I thought was really interesting is this is becoming a phenomenon. Like, this is something that, you know, like I looked it up in Connecticut. I had a friend of mine who said, you know, because I've ran into a couple times where when I would be in my insurance industry and going from home to home and stuff like that, you know, like I ran into a couple grandmas who literally, granddaughters who lived with them, and they did OnlyFans. And I just thought it was kind of interesting, like, 'cause I would see, you know, 6 to 8 people a day. So I ran into a lot of people. I met a lot of people, and I was always shocked. I would at least run into one person whose granddaughter was an OF contributor. And I never clicked until a friend of mine said the largest amount of OnlyFans girls are in Connecticut. Like, and you look at like per capita, like it's a huge amount. And
it's the Pedro effect, man. Pedro's causing it all to happen, man.
Get out of here, dude. But I just thought it was interesting. I think this is going to have a major effect on next generations, because it's now.
Hold on, sorry, Kaching. I wasn't insinuating that. It was just an obvious door that I walked through for that joke.
I just think it's interesting, and the thing is I'm not for them to do that. I think there could be more energy spent.
Look at that wick.
Making money. Yeah, but it's climbing it, dude. Like, this thing is climbing, and it's 12,000 holders. The rug.
What's it called, Lily?
Yeah, it's 30,000 right now, or excuse me, 13,000 right now. No, excuse me, 13 million market cap. Forgive me. Right now, so, and this thing started back in. It was today. It launched today, and you can see it's already at 13,000. Went all the way up to 40. Looks like 40 million.
40 million?
Yeah, it went up to all the way to 40 million. People sold.
Zoom in on the beginning of this chart here, Pedro. Zoom in. Let's do a little weatherman action here.
Actually, I'm gonna go to the 1 minute here real quick.
Yeah, there we go. I want to see what was this. Is this launch botted, or do they actually have a smooth launch?
No, dude.
Wow, that's a nice launch. Yeah.
This is.
They must have super stealth launched that. Where did it really take off?
I'm just shocked that it caught. Because how many lilies you think are out there? I saw this last night. I saw the documentary last night. And like you said, Kaching, it was not necessarily pleasant to watch. To me, I sat there and I was just like, wow. And this was on YouTube. I watched on YouTube because I like that guy. He's a cool. He's a legit dude. I think he does a good job doing like YouTube videos and talking about real issues. But the reason why I say this up is I saw that last night. What time was it when I saw it? 10 o'clock. No, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I started watching it, and I just my heart kind of broke for her because there's this point where she actually cries, and she's like trying to like reconcile this period of she just got done sleeping with like 100 people, and five minutes apiece, and I just my heart, it was like almost felt bad for her because it's almost like she doesn't know really what she's she cares more about those other guys than herself. And I was just like,
but she's making the money though. I wonder if she's actually involved in this project here at all, or if it's total, just copy. I mean, is she actually involved in this? Anyone know?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, we could just check it right here and see what the here's the CA. Here's our X. Let's see. Security tip. Some token sites, telegrams may steal private keys. Ah, yes. Okay, boom. So, no, then this might be not correct because I'm trying to see if there's any. I'm not going to click on any of these.
You can click her. Just hover over it and see what the link is.
Yeah, there is no link. Like I'm hungry.
That is. It's right down there at the bottom. It says twitter.com Lily Solcoin. Yeah, you can click it.
I think it's interesting. Here we go. Boom. The group queen. Lily Solcoin 300. I mean, I don't want to. I'm a little nervous to see if it might be kind of risky. So I don't want to show any nudity here. But it looks here. Do you want to switch to your?
I'm pulling you off right now, Pedro.
Yeah, there you go. I just want to make sure because I just want to make sure that's.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't paid attention, once again, this is the quality entertainment you get on this channel. But I have to say, what part, Pedro? Okay. What part?
It's actually there's no nudity here. There's no nudity.
What part of life does not now intersect with crypto?
Yeah, like
from
that's
Microsoft's board of directors to this topic too. It's everything intersects with crypto now. I can't think of anything that doesn't.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting, and this thing actually caught in 24 hours. It shot all the way up to $40 million, and actually from 8 o'clock this morning. So from 8 o'clock this morning, it shot from 8:23. It launched where Dev bought, and it literally went from. So the Dev bought about 30,000. It looks like, or around there. No, they probably got. What is this? 90. So 9,000, 8,000, and this thing is just. And the Dev is still holding. They did not sell, so it's still pumping, or it's no longer pumping anymore. It's actually selling off here, down to 83, or it's at 8 million now. So while we've been on air, it went from 12 million, or the last 5 minutes, it went. Yeah, what is this here? It went from 12 million down to 8 million. So it looks like they're kind of dumping this. But I think this is interesting that, like you said, it's from the Hawk to a girl last week, right, to this type of coin. It's interesting how crypto is really bleeding into every part of society. And there's a lot of money being made, but also more importantly, I think it shows like that desire for people to find a way to get ahead somehow, whether it's, Microsoft, Hawk to a girl, or this Lily coin here. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah. That's the music I'm hearing in my ear. Pedro, it's coming up on 2 hours. We need to wrap this up.
Got it, my friend. All right, so let's check out Bitcoin for the last for us coming out here. Here we go. we'll finish off. Actually, we'll do XRP here real quick for the algorithm. XRP, I'm still hoping that it's going to come back down and test this 195, if not that 143 area. If we really start to show a lot of volume pickup here at these levels, then expect to see it maybe potentially go higher, which would then be that $3.08 area. For XLM, one of the things I think is like really important to see here is, again, finding support at these lower levels here. You can see it's already coming down here. We're below the cross of the 8 and 20, and so I'm expecting it to kind of come and find support at that 50 period where my green line or my green box is at, which is around that 27-cent area, potentially for a good buy area for us. All right, so that's it after I check out BTC here, aka Mr. Beast, aka Taylor Swift, aka Shiba Inu. All right, so we're actually,
look at that. The great graphics machine changed without even me touching the screen. Look at that. Magic.
Impressive.
It listened to your voice, Pedro. I used AI to change. No, I clicked it and there was a 5-second delay.
All right. That's awesome. I was like, dude, that is dope. I would actually love for that day if we could actually have that. Ask Steve if he could create something like that for us. That'd be dope.
Mike.
Okay.
It says it's minus 41, which I believe. In the plains of Manitoba, it can be minus 41, no problem.
All right. So you can see here where I,
Mike, in Ottawa, it's 1 degree here. It's actually foggy out because the snow is evaporating into warm air.
that is crazy, bro. That is absolutely crazy. Negative 41 degrees. Whoa. I don't know how
Yeah, that's where negative 40 is where Fahrenheit and Celsius meet. So it's the same on both. Oh, it's the wind chill. That doesn't count. Chill doesn't count.
Oh, bro.
That's the stuff the Weather Channel just makes up.
No.
Oh my God, it feels like it's minus 4,000 million degrees out. What's the actual temperature? It's 10.
When I was down in Antarctica, when I was in the Coast Guard, like literally it could be 40 degrees. Okay. And if that wind, actually it'd be 0 degrees. Okay. But if the wind picked up, it could be negative 40 degrees real quick. You can go from the bar over at McMurdo Bay's bar. I forget the name of it. And you'd walk down to the ship and you could freeze. You can legitly freeze, bro. Like you had to have your like jacket on you at all times in case the wind picked up off of the ice.
Right.
So if there's wind blowing off of that ice, dude, that thing punches, bro, like Mike Tyson. It's just a click. I mean, so you don't know. Anyhow, so I'm looking at BTC. It looks like it's picking up here. I want to see a little bit of volume pop in here as we're moving, but you can see volume is starting to pick up. We're starting to show some buyers here. So it sold off. It tried to sell off, but we're starting to kind of come in. So we'll see. This thing could pop. Here, I'm a little timid to really kind of get in because it's not necessarily a real amount of volume coming in. It looks like a rope-a-dope situation where they're going to push it up to drop it down here real quick.
Hey, Joe, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin here, and I'd like you to explain a moving average to me here. If you can make that a little bigger so people can see it. Here we see the 20 and the 50 crossing a few minutes ago.
Yep.
What is that usually telling you? The 20 came down underneath to support it, and the 50 is... Wait, I'm getting your colors mixed up.
No, you're
for
right.
Me, the 20 is orange.
No, the 50 is above the 20.
Right.
Which is typically a sign that it shows a little weakness, right? Like you can see here. Let me go back further here so you can check it out. You see right here where you see it kind of come down here, where we see the 50 kind of play this area, right? And there's a big push up. Typically, that can mean that it's going down and showing weakness. Now, this is going up, but typically that's what it means. if on a downtrend, you can see right here that the 50 goes above the 50 goes above the 8 and the 20 here, right?
Yep.
And you can see it's a sign that it's very
Bearish?
for lack of a better, yeah, it's very bearish, for lack of a better word. You can see how it comes in, wants to push it down, and then it has to fight through that 50 to go back up. Now price is above that, so it just all depends. If it can find legs and push up, sooner or later that 20 is going to come through. But it's just basically saying it's indecision. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. And ultimately, when I sit there and I look at it, and we've had a big sell-off, I think to me, it typically means that it wants to go down, most likely. But it all depends. It all depends on the volume that comes in that pushes this market up. That's in a nutshell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Be here all week. Try the veal.
Hey, thanks for coming in today.
All right. Let's get those kick tracks playing.
Kick tracks. Hey.
Let's see if I can do this correctly here.
Dude, why is that my teeth? Why is that my teeth yellow, bro? It's so crazy when I look at it.
White balance on your camera.
Yeah, I need to do it.
In fact, I had my white balance set for yesterday's sunny day here, so I look green right now, and same thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I know what it is. That makes sense. This looks so like gross.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you get here. Let's see.
Sorry,
let me see if I can. Well, no, I can just do something like take the saturation out here. There, now your teeth are nice and white. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, Lucifer's got to us now, and we're burning in hell. All right, that's enough of that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a good show today. Nice wandering Wednesday. We hit a whole bunch of topics. Talked about why Bitcoin's important, from the boardrooms of Microsoft all the way down to the OnlyFans accounts of weird people. It's the intersection of crypto and Bitcoin is reaching all aspects of life here. Speaking all aspects of life, I've got to get on with my life today. I got to get a couple of things done. So Pedro, as always, thank you for a great show today. We'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, and also tomorrow night, Base Lounge, where we'll just kick back more and have more of a discussion about stuff, and have a nice evening at it. So as I always say, on behalf of one Pedro Garcia and myself, we'll see you tomorrow. So be there.